the national anthem. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for this evening. Chris Swanson is the Sheriff of Genesee County. The police force is one of the largest in the state. He's an exemplary law enforcement leader who has set a standard of excellence and has been recognized nationally for his fair and common sense approach to law enforcement. Chris?
Thank you everybody. Right, thank you. We've got a great night, a lot of great music. We have gift cards to give away, so we're going to need some audience participation. But I just want you to know that there's a lot of work that went into this. I asked David before we started, I said, what made you and Amy want to do this? He started crying. He choked up because he said, over the last several months, I've seen my own friends and family. I've seen my country. I've seen people in police, fire, EMS just give and give without asking anything in return, and we just wanted to give back. So tonight is more than just us here. It represents anybody who ever has, is, and will serve in public service, the armed forces. That's who we designate and honor tonight. Amen for that? That's right. Now, before we start with our first piece, the definition of a hero is somebody who gives selflessly for others. Whether it's a fictional character, somebody in the military, or somebody, as our conductor said, works behind the scenes in the service industry. Anybody who serves other people is a hero, especially when they do it against all odds. So I want you to think of a hero right now in your life. Maybe one that's never been thought of or recognized. Maybe they're alive, maybe they're not. And while they play Summon the Hero, I want you to just designate and to give honor to that person. You can see, you can hear their voice, because they are a hero to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Macomb Symphony Orchestra, Summon the Hero. superheroes, did anybody text somebody and tell them, you're my hero? Anybody? Not one person. You did, Rufus?
I did.
You get yourself a gift card for following orders right there. That's Rufus Harris with his wife Denise. They're doing our sound. See, you should listen to the sheriff. I told you it was gifts. Now I got your attention, but I'm also going to summon the fictional heroes in our lives. I remember when I was just a little kid, I didn't understand the complexity of the armed forces. I really didn't know the stories of my father, who was a Detroit police officer, and my grandfather, a Detroit police officer. But I did know what the Incredible Hulk meant to me. I knew what Captain America and Spider-Man and Superman, and now for kids, the Black Widow. So, if you are a little superhero in the crowd, you come up here because I want to introduce to you our fictional heroes while they sing and play Captain America, Superman, Black Widow, Spider-Man, and Captain America himself. Come on up, little ones. Run. Come on up. Get your picture with real heroes.
That's great.
You gotta run. You're a superhero. There you go. That's right, little ones. Even big kids that want pictures while they play Captain America, come on up and enjoy. Give it up to our fictional but real in our world, our superheroes. You know, I will tell you, when I hear the trumpets, they send a message. So we've got a great message for you. It's called the Bugler's Holiday, and welcome to our superheroes in the MSO, wearing their capes themselves, our trumpets. competition here with some superheroes that we talked about. And these are people that work in the hospital. Now, just for the sake of understanding, in the medical world, there's the pre-hospital folks, the EMTs, the paramedics, and then in the hospital are all those that work behind the scenes. That unless you go in the buildings, you wouldn't normally see them. Obviously, doctors and nurses, and you have LPNs and lab techs. You have ERTs, which work in the emergency department. You have people that are just packed everywhere throughout, all over the medical world. But that also includes people that don't even touch patients. They take care of people while they're working at the hospital. Those working in the culinary department, maintenance, housekeeping. I tell you, if you have ever or are working in the hospital system, you stand. Stand to be recognized. Doesn't matter what you do. Recognize our hospital workers, nurses, doctors, respiratory therapists, PTs. Everybody, what you do? Nursing assistant, what do you do? Physician, what do you do? Nurse, what do you do? You're not standing for that. Got you. Okay, that was a false alarm. Secret shopper. I'm sorry? Clinical analyst, that's what I'm talking about. Medical technology. Ma'am. Nurse's aide. RN, see, I love that. Nurse back there, exactly. Physical therapist. Give all those that are standing now another hand. I appreciate it. How many people standing have more than 25 years on the job? How many have more than 30, 35, 40, 40? I'll just say you win. Congratulations. How many years? 47 years in the hospital system. How many people that stood have less than 5 years? Anybody have less than 5 years? How long you been there? 1 year. Anybody less than that? We're going to encourage you to keep going 46 more years. There you go. You know, I had the opportunity to read a diary that my great-great-grandfather, John Swanson, wrote. When he left Sweden, he left his wife and his kids to come to America. And when I was growing up, it was written in Swedish. But my parents had it translated. And I had the opportunity to read it over the summer. And there's a particular spot where he, in his own words, writes what it looked like seeing the Statue of Liberty for the very first time. He'd heard about it. He dreamt about it. He wished his wife and his kids were there to see it. And the Statue of Liberty, made of copper, was given as a gift by the French in 1886, 135 years ago. But when you think right now, the image of the Statue of Liberty standing for freedom and democracy, where the people are the ones who lead the country. The people have the power. A democracy is of the people, for the people, by the people. We are going to celebrate Lady Liberty and democracy by Liberty fanfare through the Macomb Symphony Orchestra. Give it up for Lady Liberty and democracy. transition. We have some guests with us. The Michigan National Guard and the 126th Army Band are going to come and they're going to perform. They have a special piece that's going to honor those that have given their lives in conflicts around the world. Conflicts where people that fought aren't even alive anymore. We're going to recognize people, as you know today, that really gave an ultimate sacrifice. And people that leave a pound of flesh everywhere they go. But this next piece that you're going to hear, I just want you to think of something that triggers an emotion. Maybe you saw a military movie. You saw a documentary. These are those that lost their lives in a conflict on the foreign lands. They lost their lives trying to protect our domestic land. This is a hymn for those in memory of. So take a few minutes and take a pause. Let all distractions go and reflect on those that allowed us to be here this very day. 2020. And this is where we recognize law enforcement. I have a lot of friends here in Macomb County. Mark Hackle, Shelby Township Police Department, DC Coyle. But when it comes to law enforcement, there's a connection there because of what law enforcement does. Doesn't matter where you are in the United States, there's 3 numbers when you call, we're going to show. Since I was 20 years old, I've answered 911 calls. I became a police officer when I was 21. And I'm going to tell you that law enforcement is not a perfect profession, but I'm going to tell you, we're better today than we were ever. Because of guys like that back there from Shelby Township who have made a commitment to be better, to show the world that law enforcement is an honorable field, and that people that don't do it right have no business being in our profession, and that you can still be proud to be a police officer. So let those Shelby Township cops know, let the Macomb County Sheriff's Office know, let the state police and all the local police in this county, around the state and around the nation, let them hear you appreciate law enforcement in America today. That's so nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have 2 more giveaways. Is there anybody here that has retired from or did a stint in law enforcement? I'd like you to stand. Any law enforcement officers? Sir, where did you serve for how long? Roseville Police, 26 years. What rank did you retire? Detective Sergeant. He saw dead bodies. He saw cases that had 24-hour clocks. This guy had lost sleep. And you his wife, ma'am? And I'm telling you, a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other of a police officer deserves as much recognition as the cop themselves. Let me tell you that. My wife over there, Jamie Girl, has been with me for 27 years, and she has seen me walk out the door, not knowing what we're walking into, but always being there when I come back. Thank you, Jamie Girl. Sir, you still serving or retired? Where? Clinton Township Police Department. How many years on the job? 17. Your rank? Patrol officer. He answers 911 calls no matter if he's sick, if he's tired, if it's been his 30th call. Thank you, sir. You, sir. Glad I said Macomb County Sheriff's Office, because I got a detective in the house. You'd have snitched me in a minute. How many years on the job? 8 years on the job. I'm going to tell you, it's 8 years of a career, but it's going to make you who you are for the rest of your life. I would like to recognize our active duty law enforcement with 2 gift cards given by David and Amy. Congratulations, brother. Be safe. I love that bracelet. Come on up here, sir. Give the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Oh, that's just beautiful. You know, there's been a conductor who's putting this all together. He's been with the Macomb Symphony Orchestra for 35 years. Woohoo! Under his breath, he just corrected me, 37, but who's counting, right? But I'd like to certainly, if you would, I know you've been up and down, but I don't want you to get any cubitus ulcers from sitting. Nurses and doctors know what I mean. Would you please stand and just give the Macomb Symphony Orchestra and our conductor, Tom Cook, a big hand clap of thanks. That's for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our next piece is called The Patriot. And I'm going to tell you, anybody who's called to defend this country, anybody who's called to defend freedom or democracy, by definition, is a patriot. And I really think we got patriots in the crowd today. Is that right, Macomb County? So enjoy this next piece, The Patriot. There we go, there we go. I want everybody to know that you're going to reach a couple 100,000 people, hopefully, the next 24 hours right now. If you have your phone and you want to Facebook Live this, you're going to want to share this with people that have served in the Army, Coast Guard, Marines, the United States Air Force, or the Navy. So get your phones out, Facebook Live it, because there may be somebody who needs to be honored that's not here, but want to watch this thing happen, because this is a salute to the armed forces. You're going to hear the symphony play a tribute, a salute to all 5 branches. So I know that my parents are watching. My dad served in the United States Army. And when you hear your branch honored and recognized, you get to stand up. If you're here, we want you to stand. If you're watching right now, stand where you are. If you're driving, turn off the music, sit back, and just know that you're being honored today by this crowd. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the honor and the tribute to our armed services, playing the salute, our Macomb Symphony Orchestra, and our guest singers from the 126th Army Band and the Michigan National Guard.
Fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army was rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fight until the land is won, and the army was rolling along. They lift high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Pick up the gates on its road. Wherever we go, we will always know that the army.
Branches, veterans, active duty, stand to be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to recognize Post 4659 Shelby Township, our veterans of foreign war that held the colors. 2 of those guys are back there just watching this. If you want to give some love to VFW Hall right here in Shelby Township, recognize those 2 guys back there that held the colors. Gentlemen. Thank you so much. You know, we're really turning the corner, rounding third, heading home for tonight. But we have a few more special pieces. One of the recognitions that we want to do tonight is for a particular individual. His name is Ken Lamb. Ken worked in a local hospital right when COVID hit for the first wave back in February, March. And it didn't take very long before he himself came down with a very serious case of COVID. But it didn't stop him. He recovered, came back to the hospital, and went back to being a nurse practitioner. His name was submitted by his colleagues to be recognized. Ken's not here today because he's working, but his father-in-law is here to accept his recognition. So could I have Marvin Finn come up here to recognize his son-in-law, Ken Lamb, serving in the hospital during COVID-19, recognized as our individual hero of the night. You know, as a police officer, and I know that my brothers and sisters in law enforcement can understand, especially those in detective work, you know, we have to count on many times our local volunteers. And you saw just a few of them who get called out at any time of the day and night to search for bodies, missing, cadavers. So I'd love for you to see, as they come forward, our Michigan Search and Rescue volunteers. Come on up here. They gave you a demonstration. We'd love for you to recognize our heroes both on 4 legs and 2, the handlers and the dogs. Come on up here. Come on up here. Don't you notice that all the dogs get along too? You don't find that in police canines. Those dogs hate each other. But I just want to say, on behalf of law enforcement and AFC homes and 911 centers and all those that call you out for service, you put your life on hold. You don't do it for pay. You train your dogs to be the best in the business. You do it for people. So you're our heroes. We want you to be recognized. Thank you for what you do. And I wish these dogs, these canines, can understand how much they're loved. And the only way to do that is to give them some love and recognition by a hand clap. And we're going to do that. And I'm also going to give them 2 gift cards for pizza at Guido's. So when you have your next meeting, you can buy pizza on behalf of this night and reflect on how much you are so appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are good. Yes. Thank you so much. Dogs love to steal the show. I just want to say our next piece of honor kind of just wraps everything up as we kind of tail off and to remember this special evening. So without further ado, Conductor Cook, take it away. Common Man. It's called The Fanfare of the Common Man. It's composed by Aaron Copland, and it really highlighted the era of which it was composed, World War II. That generation has been recognized many times over as one of the bravest generations. Aaron Copland, when he composed that song, wanted people to be reminded that our bravery is not when we're alone, but it's when we're together. And we are a force multiplier for good. When we stand in unity, you can change the world. I was asked in this section to give a background of who I am. And instead of me doing that, I want to share with you the greatest moment of my police career. It happened last year on May 30th, when this whole nation and this world felt the burden, felt the pain. There was anger, both in law enforcement and the public, as to what took place in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And police around the country felt that pressure build every day. And the day before that event that changed my life, big cities in this country lit on fire. And Flint was expected to do the same. But we chose a different path that day. We chose a path to listen to the people. People that weren't a particular group, but it was people that were white and black and rich and poor. I had people that were in wheelchairs and kids, because everybody wants to be unified. Good people that want good things want peace. We don't want division. So I asked the question to the people, what do you need us to do? And I'm going to tell you, without any of them talking, no organization, within 1 second, they said, walk with us. Walk with us. All they wanted was to be heard. I took a step back. I took a deep breath. I listened to the Spirit of God, who said, let's walk. And I'll tell you, that moment reached 3.2 billion people in 24 hours. We had 40 protests since that day in Flint, Genesee County. Not a single arrest, not a single board snap, and not a single piece of glass broke. In counties all over, including Macomb County, and police around the nation, they didn't just see what we did, they saw what the people did. So my opportunity to recognize a hero, which was given to me by Dave, to take this time to recognize who is your common hero. You know who my common hero was? The people that day. The people that had the courage to ask and to tell what they needed. And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Instead of creating division wherever you are, be a force multiplier for unity. That's what the common person can do. Standing shoulder to shoulder. When there's a wrong, call it a wrong. But when there's justice and there's unity to be had, you stand unified. Amen? Amen. That was the best day of my police career. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful Saturday night. I want to recognize another little group of heroes, and they are our kids. There's a lot of kids out here. If you are anybody under the age of, now I'm not going to call a 16-year-old a kid because you'd be all upset. But if you think you're a kid, I'm looking at you. You stand up and be recognized, because I want you to know that you can be a hero every day, no matter how old you are. Don't let life tell you otherwise. Don't let anything stop you. You be a hero. You love what you do, and never forget that you are a hero. Yes, capes and all. Is there a family that brought more kids than anybody else? There's a lot of kids here. Who owns you? Who has all these kids? Grandparents. Well, no offense, but just doing that, you deserve a final gift card, which is a $50 gift card to feed all these mouths. Congratulations. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great Saturday night here in Macomb County. Enjoy Saturday Night Waltz.
tomorrow all the things were gone I've worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. And I ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the U.S. America. Shed His grace for thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the man who died and gave that right for me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
Behind the music, our conductor Tom Cook, Dave and Amy Zidell. Give it up to our Macomb Symphony Orchestra board. They put this together. Police, fire, EMS, hospital, pre-hospital, all the heroes, past, present, and soon-to-be heroes. If you want to follow this orchestra, go online to the Macomb Symphony Orchestra. You'll see their upcoming events. We have one final piece for you. I know you know it well. By John Philip Sousa in 1896. One of the most popular, famous, recognizable, patriotic songs to make you proud to be an American. Amen? So get to your feet as we wish this night goodbye, and let's show some love and honor to our country, America. Take it away.